Greetings, everyone, and shalom to those of you who are saints. I have a few moments with you before my day continues. But I'm here to just talk to you about the talks that should begin today, the talks between I call it the PPP, that's what they are, and the Guyana Teachers Union, the executives thereof, or the bargaining team. As you join the broadcast, tell me whether you can see and hear clearly, please, because I don't have much time with you all. I have to go about my business as you would. But we have to have this conversation quickly. And this may be part 2 to this so-called agreement, the agreement that Mark Lighted have entered into on behalf of the teachers. Is it good? Most of you may be able to capture the replay of this right here. Okay, good. All right, so let's get right to it because I really need to go. Now, and by the way, if the broadcast is interrupted, it means that somebody has called me. One of the employees may have called, and somebody from the team may call, so I have to answer the call. Okay, please. It's not that I'm dismissing you. Okay, thank you. So now there's supposed to be a conversation between some of the executives or a specific team from the Guyana Teachers Union and that of the PPP administration. Why do I classify them as the PPP administration? Today you want to hear about the system of wickedness in this country. Anyone who sits on the other side of that table will be representing the PPP. Anyone. The average person in this country right now who is speaking to employment, conditions regarding employment, and more than anything else, remuneration, finances, and the like, they have to do what the PPP says. Because it seems as if we have lost people, for the greater part, who are within the public service at the helm, the top of the public service positions, who have chutzpah, who have strength to stand for what is right in reference to workers, the working class. The PPP, through dictatorship, through arrogance, through tyranny, through economic tyranny, they understand what Guyanese face. And they understand that their friends and their cronies, their lackeys, they are able to live at a particular level, far surpassing those of the average individual. And I told you that GTU is seeking to create a super society in this country. And it happens for a reason. If you have a super society where some people are excessively wealthy, and the very few, the 1%, as you know, in the US, and 99% can barely make it, then you have a society of dominance, where there's nothing that you can do to fight anything called the system, unless you fight collectively. So the other thing they have to do is to divide the people, to destroy unity among us, so that they can destroy your opportunities to tear them down collectively. So the name of the game right now in this country is survival. That's what you have in our society. Everyone has most people have their mortgage, they have a car note, they have school fees, they have something, they have some interest that's economic. And the PPP is utilizing economic tyranny against Guyanese. That's what you're doing. I'm going straight at your throats this morning because I have things to do. The PPP, GTU, and others are exercising economic tyranny. So there are people who sit in a meeting and they're going to sit and hear things being said about public servants, things being done to public servants and private sector employees, and they will do nothing about it. Because should they act righteously, justly, and properly, their well-being economically is threatened. So we're going to have a meeting today. And anybody who sits across the table will be talking to the GTU in this environment that Mark Light and others, I would like to think, created, that is uncertain for our teachers. You should have never entered that room in reference to the court to agree without consultation. Never. You were supposed to say to the judge and the justices that you want to consult with the members of the GTU, of the union. You want to go to the teachers who are on the road. You want to have a conversation with the teachers who are on the road. You want them to vote, which is a democratic process. You want them to vote since they've elected you to represent them, not to lead them, Mark. So you want them to vote to determine the way forward. You can ask the judge for 24 hours, you can ask the judge for 48 hours. There's no rush here. There was no rush in this process, Chief. The judge wouldn't kill you if you say 148 hours to consult with teachers all across Guyana. Why? You can tell the judge we have 10,000 members, you have 7,000 members, whatever numbers you have, you can tell the judge that every member has a right to be heard. You, Mark, should know that. 2 more days wouldn't kill you. So now you're entering a room at a disadvantage in that you're entering there in this atmosphere of reasonable time. Whatever that means, you still can't tell people. What does reasonable time mean? Did the judge establish for all, Justice Kissoon establish for all, what is reasonable in reference to the time frame of these discussions? I haven't heard of it. So teachers are back in class, and there are teachers there who are sitting trying to figure out on March 20th, when the substantive matter regarding their salaries being cut and their dues being remitted. Teachers are sitting today in a classroom wondering if at the 20th of this month and thereafter, should Justice Kissoon rule that, listen, your pay will be cut, whether they lose 1 month's salary. Mark Light, you should have never agreed to any mediation unless Nandalal rescinds that. Unless Nandalal says we are going to, regardless of what happens, we know there's a matter before the court, but we don't want to pursue this matter any longer. Remember Dharamlal's rape victim, the accused, or the accuser as a matter of fact, remember the girl, Anasi, who suddenly out of the clear blue sky, her parents said that she wants a no further statement, no further action. Good. Any party in a matter can say, listen, we don't want to pursue this any further, we recant, or we rescind. You're entering that room this morning, or you may be there already. What is worst is, and you could correct me with this, but I have certain issues that I have to deal with. There's no way in hell that I would agree to go to sit at 26 Brick Dam. I don't want to see anything called Brick Dam. No Ministry of Education building because of what they did to my teachers. I don't want to talk to you all in this environment. We can have a conversation in a neutral venue. Let's go to Arthur Chung Center. Let's go to Ministry of Works, of Labor. That's where you should have been. Let's go to the Ministry of Labor where the Chief Labor Officer is. So just in case we begin to slip and have arguments, we could call Joe Hamilton, send the Labor Officer and said to talk to us. You could have gone to another environment. Now you can say that you have to negotiate at the place of your employers. That could be a contention. But remember, this is not an ordinary process you're engaging in here, Mark Light and others. You are engaging in a matter that has a threat over our teachers' head, over their heads. You're engaging in a conversation whereby our teachers are working under duress. There's no way you can tell me that anybody's okay with going to work now, knowing that it's possible for the judge to rule that their salary should be cut. And further, Mark Light and others, I want to inform you all that Jagdeo, the caring Jagdeo, and I'm getting to that part before I leave you all, the caring Jagdeo is of the view that he is patiently waiting. Mind you, the caring people now, they are so concerned about Guyanese well-being, and they understand that Guyana is in such a good place in terms of us loving each other, that Jagdeo is of the view that the day the judge rules, should he rule, that your pay should be cut, he is the first in line. Now mind you, Jagdeo is not Minister of Finance, according to him. Ashley Singh is the Minister of Finance, but Jagdeo, even Mark Phillips can't talk more than Jagdeo. And Jagdeo is secondary to Mark Phillips. Jagdeo has no power in reference to anything called constitutional authority in this country. But this man, who has some fancy makeup concocted position, can tell a teacher that I am waiting patiently for the judge to rule. And if the judge only says that we are right to cut your pay, they will cut 1 month of your salary. Now, you mean to tell me the teachers could sit in a classroom and properly instruct our children, properly inform and guide them, if they have this hanging over their heads? Caring Priya, remember Caring Priya? Who got teacher? Oh, I'm ready for you all this morning. I'm ready for you today, Priya Manager. Caring Priya, Caring Government Priya. who has stupid teachers. Yes, I call you what I want to call you. You're very stupid people. To go on camera and say you're thankful for the cash grant. You're my friend. You're not my friend. You don't feed me, so I call you stupid if you're stupid. You are excessively stupid. You are moronic and you are painfully stupid. For prayer to set you all up to go and say, yes, we're thankful for the cash grant. Mind you, $4,000 per child in the mainland, $5,000 in the hinterland. Watch this. Not for the teacher. The cash grant is for them to buy supplies and for them to make themselves procurement officers. When the regional executive or the regional democratic councils have procurement officers who are paid. Priya herself confessed that the people are doing their job. The people taking too long to get the work done. So teachers now become procurement officers, which, by the way, is illegal. Since people like talk about illegal. Because you need to, first of all, be familiar with the Procurement Act before you could go and procure anything on behalf of the government or the people. So there are now teachers who are calling and asking truck drivers, can you please remind me when I bought this thing? Can you please do a receipt for me? Can you please? Because they don't understand the system of procurement. So there are many things in our schools that are sitting there that are purchased by illegal means. Because I told you, you have to source at least 3 vendors. You have to find that which is most financially or economically viable and acceptable, plausible, reasonable. So, Caring Priya decided to tell you all that, you know what? We care so much, we'll give you this cash grant. Good? For the school supplies and cleaning supplies and so on. Watch this. That same caring creature sits around now saying that your salary through GTU, they would cut 1 month pay from you. So they're prepared to give you $4,000 per student if you're in the mainland. But at the end of this process, if the judge should rule, because the PP is before the court now, if the judge only says, and the judge had to be approved because the PPO are prepared to cut an entire month or 6 months, however long you'll be on the road for, the PPP were prepared to cut $300, $400, $500, in some cases maybe $1 million worth of your salary, while they give you $4,000 per child. That's how caring they are. I hope you all get a picture here. This caring clan would have been prepared to give the school. Oh, Priya, you're watching. I'm glad that you're here. I see Priya Manichan is here. I'm glad that you're here this morning. The caring clan were prepared to give the schools $5,000 and $4,000. Good? But the same set of people, the same set, and I want you to comment here, Priya, because you're here now. The same set were prepared to remove an entire month, or if it's 6 weeks or however long teachers have been out there for, they're prepared to cut that out entirely. So they take 100% of your earnings. That's care. When persons were clamoring, teachers were saying, we want to have a better living wage. They say, okay, they want to live better. 6.5 can't work. Well, we take all your money this time, since you want to be on the road protesting. And when you come back to work, to show you how much we care, you could use the cash grant to buy supplies, to buy glue, crayons, to buy printing paper. That sounds like a caring group of people to you. They have not, unlike the Granger administration, and I don't like David Granger's weakness, period. But it is what it is. David Granger, when the teachers had a strike, and Priya Manichan was out there speaking for teachers, said the whole world can see how the PNC is treating teachers. You, Priya, you were there. Granger's administration did not cut anybody's pay. Granger's administration did not cut anybody's pay. What Granger did was, okay, they agreed. All right, y'all go back to work. We won't cut your pay. Let's have a conversation. Do you see the difference, Priya? As weak as Granger was, GTU, your ruler, is out there saying he is waiting for the judge to rule. And anytime the judge only says, yes, PVP, all right, They're not supposed to be paid. He would take every single cent. You talk about your caring? Huh? I am of the view that this conversation that we had this morning, Madam Priya Manik Chand, was not supposed to be had with anybody being under duress. The teachers must be assured. You have 2 weeks still left in this term. 2 weeks. You want them to produce results and to help our children and all the rest of it, and you want them to go back to work. You want them to go back to work with this Thor's hammer over their head that your pay would be cut? Come on, man. When you care about people, you treat them differently. When you care about people, you don't treat them the way you all treat people. So, I don't understand what assurance can be had. What assurance can we have if Mark Light goes ahead to have this conversation at Brickdam with the concept or the thought in mind that this conversation will be had over a reasonable period of time? What does that mean to teachers? And further to that, the agreement states, and I told you I was going to do the second part, this agreement to which Mark Light would have signed states that both parties, not the GTU alone, both parties retain their rights pursuant to the Constitution. Both parties, look at the last clause. Both parties retain their rights. Constitutionally speaking. To make certain decisions regarding this whole process. Now, what does the teacher do with that information? It's good for the teachers in that your union has the right to call you out in reference to industrial action if they don't agree with what's going on. But it also gives Nandalal and Priya and others the right to hold on to their position, to maintain their stance. Now, this is where the chief labor officer becomes so important. This is where the law regarding arbitration becomes so critical. This is where the law concerning the law, Priya, not the suggestion, the law relating to collective bargaining again comes on the table before y'all. We also have a situation in which for 4 weeks our teachers were not at school. And I'm going to show you what this PPP caring clan did. I took their school for 4 weeks. Absolutely nothing. There were 4 weeks when not one child was at school. And I'll show you the running board, that we call fascia board, on which the gutter will be hung. I will show you all today what the PPP did. The caring clan, 4 weeks they had to solve a problem. For 4 weeks, I'll show you my son's classroom with a black ceiling pre-manic chant, which is against all safe and conducive learning environments policy. You know that. Because your daughter doesn't see a classroom where the ceiling is black. And teachers are to go back to school, caring prayer. Go back into the environment where you all are yet to fix certain things. That's the caring people we're talking about. The caring clan, by the way. The caring group still has my son's environment that could like a furnace. 4 weeks. $1.1 trillion. And you can't install one AC in these ovens in these schools. But y'all are caring, and teachers must go to sit with you in an environment like this to hear us receive information that you intend to do what is right by teachers. To the teachers, I want to speak because you need to be alert. Be aware of people with whom you work. Be aware of people. Be alert. Be aware of people with whom you work. And I'm going to come down to your PPP supporters today, right here. You teachers who support PPP and hide in the classroom, I talk to you today. Be as mad as you want. If, and I'm speaking directly to you teachers now who in the classroom, who stayed away from the strike, I talk to you straight up. If you stayed in the classroom because you are afraid of losing your salary, you are an economic victim. You're a victim of economic tyranny. And that's not strength for you, because the people will walk on you every day of the week. If you had to stay in school because you couldn't lose $1 from your salary, you are a victim of economic tyranny and oppression. Rich people don't function like that. There's no teacher in the US, on average, if they're managing money well, in Barbados, in Trinidad and Tobago, in St. Vincent, in St. Martin, who would have to be afraid like you. Let's deal with the facts here. So the fact that Priya Manikchan knows, Saddam Hussein knows, Baba Jagdeo knows fully well that they live at a standard that you can't attain right now based on salary is enough for you to strike. Secondly, teachers, I hope y'all can hear me clearly because somebody may report my page in a minute. Secondly, teachers who stayed in the classroom, the fact that you could not respond to claim a better wage in reference to you're earning tells me that you are okay with abuse and oppression. And you're not good for teaching our children either. If you could look at a system in which you know that even the minister is not qualified like some of y'all. She's not called, if she were in a classroom, she would not be classified as a trained graduate. She'd be classified as an untrained graduate. She has never taught in a classroom. She has never matriculated. In CPC or any other teachers college across this world. But she cares enough to know that you must accept whatever conditions they are set before you. You must accept that. She has never set an exam paper for anybody. She's never graded an exam paper for any group of students. She has never sat even at an administrative level in a school environment. Never. Never. But she can relate to how you feel when you don't have enough money to feed your children. She can relate to working under duress, whereby you're being, all kind of stupidness are being demanded of you. Huh? So let's deal with the facts here. So if you are a teacher and you hid in a classroom because you're afraid of losing money, or you're prepared to work under oppression, you are not good for teaching my child. Any child. And thirdly, and I want you to hear me very clearly on this one. If it were that the APNU AFC would have been in authority, we call power or government. They're not the government, but neither is PP. We govern by opposition and administration. But just for sake of Guyana's understanding, if the opposition, what we call opposition now, would have been in power, good, hear me clearly, you teachers who stay in the classroom, and Priya and Jagdeo were in the opposition now, so the roles were turned. If ever the GTU would call a strike, and you came out, then that makes it political. You in the classroom, you're a political one in reference to your conversation, the Jagdeo told political. Y'all will be the kingpins for political strikes, because you are only out there because the PPP say you must come out. What makes you different? If you stayed in the classroom because you don't want to go there because, of course, it's a political strike, and Coretta McDonald is behind this, Jagdeo got all y'all like a set of dummies running, oh, it's political. Okay, fine. Now, if it were the PPP in opposition and you went out on the road to stand and strike, you make it political. You in the classroom now, you are a political puppet. And I could name some of y'all who would have to go out there if GTU were in opposition and say, let's go on strike tomorrow. You had to go. Because your husband will get no benefit. There'll be no handout to y'all anymore. There'll be no rich man favor for you and your family anymore. So you have to do the PP says. What makes it political? What makes it less political for y'all if when the PP is in authority, y'all go out there to strike? But when opposition authority, you don't go out there to strike. Is that not political? Is that not political? Are you not a political puppet? In the context in which y'all use political. Hello, Don, and good to see you. But I want to make this clear to you people. Let me make this clear to you people. If you are a just individual, whether it's PNC, PPP, AFC, ANOG, TCI, whatever you are, you would know that 6.5% in this climate is that disrespectful figure. And you, first of all, you can't just give people 6.5%. There's what we call collective bargaining. Collective bargaining is clear that the union and the employer must have a conversation to determine any increase or decrease in wage. That's the law of Guyana. And Irfan, who wants to suggest that y'all are law-abiding people, can't respect that. Irfan can respect something so simple that under the law of Guyana, you can't decide on what people will earn if there's a union. Any entity that's unionized, you can't decide as an employer, this will give you all. You have to engage in what's called collective bargaining. That is the law. So let me see how this works. You are law-abiding pre, according to what you said. But you all eliminate collective bargaining. But you're law-abiding though. The first step to salary increase or decrease is collective bargaining. You, Priya Manik Chand, Bharat Jagdeo, Irfan Ali, disregard that. And I've actually seen stand in parliament and read that public servants get 6.5%, teachers get 6.5%. And you saying that you're law-abiding when you have circumvented, gone around the law. You are saying that y'all are law-abiding when the first step, the first legal step, you disregarded. Now you're going to have a conversation, Mark, right? What are we talking about? Mark, right? I'm suggesting to you that the first thing you need to do is tell him, we only talking about collective bargaining here. We have to fix what you did wrong. I don't know if you have the strength to do that, but I hope you do. I'm advising you if I can, do not engage these people in anything unless they come forward with a statement that includes terms like collective bargaining being adhered to. You have to put them in that corner. They must, in writing, commit to collective bargaining. They must commit to removing any condition of duress on which teachers work, which includes the salary cutting foolishness. Mel, good to see you there, Hart. You have to ensure that teachers' well-being is protected. Pray you can't tell me that you law-abiding and you all bypass collective bargaining. Shalom, Gina. Good to see you. Good to see you, my sister. So, we ain't having any conversation. And I can share with you quickly, and that's why I respect Mr. Vincent Alexander all the time. Because he's a man like me, we could have conversations now that are healthy, and although we had an issue when I was in the University of Guyana, I ended up in the news. Because the University of Guyana, I was in a computer science course, we paid for a computer science course, which should not have happened in the first place. Because free education from nursery to tertiary. And they hadn't computers for us to use. Because there was a transformer that was down. And the lecturer, of course, in her innocence, tried her best to help us by drawing mouse on the board and all that. I'll have to call you back. So, I said, okay. They were going to give us a test. I hope you can hear me still. Give us this test. Based on what she drew on the board. I said, I'm not doing that. There were 300 plus of us in the classroom. And I said, I'm not writing any test. And you can't fail me. Because I didn't pay to see you draw a mouse and draw a monitor on the board. I paid to use a lab. And I'm not going to write this exam. Mr. Mark, like Mr. What's his name? Vincent Alexander came because there was an uproar in the room, and Alexander said he's not here to talk about any water under the bridge. We have to write a test. I said, you ain't talking to me. You can talk to them. You're not on me. I was not UG representative or UGSS, anything. I was a student who said, you can't talk to me like this because I'm not paying you to some teacher for some lecturer to draw some mouse on the board. I am not writing any tests, and you fail me. I told Alexander, you fail me, not her. I want you fail me, not her. I got up and told Vincent Alexander, I am not writing any tests, and none of y'all could fail me. Out. I head straight to Prime News, straight to the news agency, and told them, and I was live, and I was on the news the next day, all the evening, all across Guyana. The following morning, there was a big meeting, and guess what? They said nobody's going to write any tests because you're telling that I should go to Queen's College to use a computer. I said I'm a university student. Why must I go to QC to use QC computer? But I just want you to understand, Mark, Light, and others, that there's value in standing for something and not cowering. So it wasn't a case where I agreed that we write the test and then we see what happens afterwards. No, you're going to do what is right first. We're having any conversation, and I'm saying it to make a point. We're not having any conversation after you do me something wrong. No, fix the wrong first, then we can move forward. So don't tell me the teachers must go teaching now knowing that it's possible that one whole month could be cut from their salary because of bad-minded, unkind, uncouth, cruel gang. No, we're not having anything called mediation and all this rest. You shouldn't do that until Nandalal returns to normalcy. Until Irfan stops being puffed up and arrogant. Until Priya speaks to us as though she has respect. Y'all hold on. Don't go anywhere. Stay right there. Hold on. All right. We back? Y'all good? I hope you can hear me well. So while I leave you, let's get this thing clear. Today, as you begin to talk, as you begin to speak, Mark Light, let me make this clear to you, sir. This is the second time that you've made decisions that I have suspicions about. I tell you, I don't take, please don't take this personally, because you all men again get hurt very easily nowadays. Sometimes somebody blow on you, you suddenly get feelings hurt and you want to cry. I hope you're not one of those men. Mark, your actions are very often suspect or suspicious. The things that you do, the decisions that you make are concerning to me as a citizen of this country and one who would have been in education myself. Listen to me, Jack. Listen to me. You make very weak decisions after being in a very strong position. And that is not a good thing. I don't want to say certain things to you without evidence. But your positions are very suspicious at times. You have a very strong stance. You hold this administration and others as the juggler. And then suddenly you just make like, I don't know what happens to you. Where you make the most unexpected, ill-informed decisions. I am saying again, your actions are very suspicious, but I will not venture into accusing you without evidence. But there are things you're doing that are very, very bad. And as a man, I'll tell you exactly how I feel about you. And if you're upset, that's on you. I don't have a personal issue with you. And you're free to negate that thought process of mine. But I don't get it. I don't get how you can be standing on the road for 4 weeks, Mark, saying we're not going to bend. The teachers you represent are saying we ain't going back until something is signed in reference to agreement to pay us. And then you, on a like that, decide, okay, yeah, we go back to school on Wednesday. This isn't right. Something is wrong here. Because you quaked too easily. You bowed too easily. And though it is to some extent a victory for you, it is unhealthy for teachers. Because it doesn't so strengthen your part. You can't change a nation's political climate, Mark, if you don't understand the demons you deal with in this political environment. There's some devils in the PPP. hardcore. In the Apnu Banton, the Apnu is not authority here. There's some demons in the PPP that you have to deal with on a whole different scale. They're not ordinarily wicked. For them to show you Mark Light like that, you want strike? Okay, we're not taking any juice from y'all anymore. Mark Light, that's a direct threat to you, man. Let me talk to you before I go, please. Mr. Light, the fact that this administration, the PPP, decided that the first thing they'll do to y'all is try to cut your dues out, they intended to cripple you economically, which is to destroy your union. That's what they did to GPSU. What does that tell you, sir? What does that tell you about these people? Huh? What? So you're prepared to work with any such individual? Huh? Talk to me straight. You tell me you're prepared to have a conversation with people who, like that, the first thing they think about when you act is to destroy your entire union's economic well-being and status. The fabric of your union, the economic fabric, the PPP immediately sought to destroy it. And just like that, you could go before a judge and sit with Stoby and Lokun, decide, you know what? Yeah, we go back to talk in reasonable time. No, I don't understand that. Because you're dealing with people who are prepared to destroy your entire union. The union survives by the dues of the membership. They're prepared to destroy the entire GTU. The PPP was prepared to do that in your face immediately. And you could just like that, Mark, decide that you trust these people to have a conversation. Yeah, we talk in reasonable time without any definitive processes being outlined. I have great suspicions about that. Because it has to be that you're one of the weakest people I know. Maybe Granger rub off on you somehow, I don't know. But that doesn't speak to strength in reference to trade unionism. Where the employer shows you they're prepared to destroy your union. I mean, kill it. Kill you economically. And you could just agree like that, you go talk. No, we ain't talking. Because I would like to think, Mr. Light, that you had the opportunity through Darren Way to sit before the judge, Justice Kassoon, understand the plight of the teachers. To say, Your Honor, it's not I don't want to talk to these people, but these are the things they're doing to me. This is what they're doing to our union. This is what they're doing to us, and we need assurance. Mark Light, remember that you are representing the employees. And in any strike action, the employees have got great strength if the employer is deemed to be unreasonable. Goodness gracious, the judge already hinted to you that Jagdeo them are unreasonable. This is why the judge said, no, maintain the status quo. Because the judge recognized that these guys have no conscience. Use that to your advantage. All you need to know here what happened. It's not a case I don't want to talk to these people, but they've demonstrated to me that they are prepared to destroy the whole union. So, Your Honor, with that being said, I need to talk to the teachers, and I need to, Your Honor, that's what you could have told the judge. I need assurance from my employer, Mark. Like the administration represents the employer. The teachers are the employees, Mark. Like you have every right to say that you don't trust the employers because of the actions that the judge is aware of. And force not allowed to commit that he would not in any way jeopardize the teacher's sanctity, the sanity and the psyche, the moral, the consciousness, their well-being. For heaven's sake. Because the labor law says you're not supposed to work under duress. Come on, man. The labor law protects you that you're not supposed to work under duress. If you threaten to cut my pay for a whole month, that's duress. That's pressure. And I can't work under that. How hard is that for you to tell the judge? You can't work under this environment. You can't go to work and give an honest day's pay knowing that a whole month of your salary could be cut. And while I'm at this about to leave you, can we cut Irfan Ali's salary? Because Irfan Ali says, and Nandala said, no work, no pay. Okay, fine. Irfan, your work is to establish the Judicial Commission. You have failed to do so for 3 whole years. Can we cut Irfan pay? Can we please, as the employers, because we are the employers of Irfan, if you didn't know that, can we as employers, and I hope a lawyer could help me with this, go to the court to cut Irfan Ali's pay. Because for 3 years, he can't establish a judicial commission yet. For 4 years. 4 years. He cannot name one commissioner. So we have judges who can't be appointed. We've got in the Ethics Relations Commission an arbitrator who can't be appointed. Somebody say my thing is muted. I hope it's not. I must shout too hard. Is it muted now? Clem Beaton says it's muted. Come y'all talk to me fast and me go. Is it good? If it's muted, Clem, you may have to leave and return. Somebody, okay, let Clem Beaton know that he can leave and return. Irfan, you were supposed to establish the commission, the body that deals with contracts, because you had a building boom. You all had this thing planned out perfectly. So you're supposed to have a boom of buildings. So you say, hey, you know what? There'll be no procurement commission, no public procurement, meaning the people, if you have to buy material from China, wherever it is, there's a commission. If you have to issue contract, there's a commission that should have been established to police contracts in this country. You, Irfan, did not do that for 2 whole years. Can we cut Irfan's salary, please? The Police Service Commission, Irfan Ali could not appoint one commissioner for over 2 years. Well, if it's no work, no pay, we want to cut your pay because you're not working. You are not working. This Irfan Ali, who talk about, oh, the voters list is a problem. Oh, the voters list is a problem? So why you can't have a proper voters list up until today? 4 years have almost passed, you Irfan, and we still have a bloated voters list and you want to talk about PNC rigging? So who was in power for the past 4 years? Who had authority for the past 4 years, Irfan Ali, to fix this voters list? 4 years! And you can't have a sanitized voters list? What's the time with y'all? What should you tell me about the PPP and your intention to have a free and fair election in this country? Huh? All this oil money. Oh, and you could only fix the road? That's all you could do? And build bridges? Huh? But you intend to have free and fair elections? When was the last time Jagio went to Parliament? Let me bring it all to the table here. When Jagio said no work, no pay, tell us, Barrett, when you went to Parliament the last time. Tell me, Barrett Jagio, how you getting paid? But you all understand what Jagdio did. Jagdio said he doesn't want any money as the official of the opposition. What he wants is, guess what? He wants to receive president pension. That's why he doesn't go anywhere, because he wants his president's pension, 2.5 whatever million dollars a month. Barr doesn't want anything called parliamentary salary. So you can't cut what he doesn't want. While we are cutting, let's start with cutting Jagdio's Irfan salary, because no work, no pay. That's what you're saying. You're not working. You are not working as president of this country. You're working because I'm telling you again, Mr. Irfan Ali, that you have not established critical commission. Do you know how important the judicial system is to this country? And you sat for 4 whole years and refused to establish a commission to appoint judges. We have got an acting Chief Justice, an acting Chancellor of the Judiciary. You have no respect for black people. None. And I'll tell you just how I feel about you. Because if you could convince me that if there were 2 Indian people at that position, they'd still be acting, I'll accept that. But you can't convince me. You have no respect for African Guyanese. None. So you'll wait until these people reach retirement age and they get out of there, then you'll appoint. I know you well. Then you'll have the Judicial Commission established, so you could appoint who you want. If people can't see through your numbers around their eyes. Margaret, you have to be wary of what we work with in this country. We not work with the angels. You are not working with angels. You're working with demons. And I am suspicious of your weakness, Mark. And again, I remind you, don't take this personally. I just have an issue with how weak you act. Something is wrong with your decision making. It is the second time you did this. The second time around. Something is wrong with this. I can't accept what you're doing. And now this morning, you're going to sit in 26 Brickdown. Why you can't meet at the labor office? Why you can't meet at Arthurtown Convention Center? Why you can't meet at somewhere that's neutral? Because now the PP has lost the ability to convince you that they're acting right in good faith. Huh? So why you can't act and say you're comfortable meeting at Brickdam? You don't want to meet there. Because Saddam say you can collect people's names. You feel as if you're being victimized. Because the chief education officer said you're going to collect people's names. So the pay could be cut. So you don't want to meet there. Because your employer has shown you bad spirit all the time. They've shown you ill intentions. Come on, man. If the employer show you ill intentions consistently, you can't meet at the office because at that office they're threatening to do things to me. I don't want to meet there, Your Honor. So I leave you, teachers, with the understanding, I hope, that if ever you have a colleague who you know if PPP call a strike, they go outside, that person is a political puppet. They don't intend to do work in the best interest of your children. And you should watch them. Teachers should have been on the road up until today. Because if Priya Manik Chand and Saddam did what they did, teachers should say we're not going back until they are gone. Not until they apologize, until they are removed because of what they did to us and they've demonstrated to us their intention. So we don't trust y'all. Thank you, Gerald. I plan on doing so because I realize that the path this country is headed, we need to fix up here quickly. We have to fix what's happening in our head quickly. You can't tell me that teachers must go back to work, working on Priya Manik Chand. I'm dead serious about this. For one, Irfan, if you didn't know, because I know you don't have 2 cents about anything in education. You can't have a minister of education, Irfan Ali, who is in reference to classroom qualifications and untrained graduate. Come on, man. That should tell you already that Priya is a misfit. You have an education officer, education minister, who has never taught for 1 minute in her life in any classroom, who has not contributed for 1 second to any child's academic success in this whole nation, or any adult in any tertiary institution. Priya has never ever taught. So by that, she's supposed to leave it already. And look at the kind of thing she posted. Huh? You are a minister of education and talking about Coretta McDonald like you don't go for one, that kind of crook. Listen here. If you know the things I want to do with you about, girl, you have responsibility for our nation's children to teach them how to behave with decorum, with class. And you on Facebook as a minister talking about Coretta liking you? What crap you behaving with? Y'all have no class. Look at what you've been posting when the teachers were on the road. And somebody had to sit you down and calm me because you couldn't help yourself. You like Irfan, you can't handle anybody being against you. And Barrett, look at what you were posting. Priya Manik Chand. And you could tell me, huh? That people must respect and value you? Value what? I told you already. Men like Derek Bernard, people like Dr. Faith Harding, those are people you must look at. Classy people, not like you. You posting you some little gutter rat. But who woman want you, woman? What Minister of Education ever saw a pre-manager and talk about woman want her? What? Where? Have you ever seen a Minister of Education talking publicly about some woman wants her? Where have you ever seen that? Teachers, y'all need to be wary of these people. And be very wary of any other teacher who supports the likes of Priya in our system. Because they're not good for the system. And Mark Light, if you know what you have to work with, and you're so willing to bow to this nonsense, call an agreement, I have an issue with what you did. Because as a parent, I have a right to question you because your actions affect teachers and their actions affect my child. So I'm questioning you based on that understanding. With that said, I'll see you all soon. We'll talk again in the very near future. As Gerald suggested, I may be with you all on a daily basis because this thing isn't going right. All right? So we'll talk. Do well. Bye-bye.